life of a gladiator was brutal and deadly. Their life was very strict and usually not out of choice. Most gladiators were criminals or prisoners from war. They lived in cells and new gladiators were guarded at all times. They were not allowed to speak at mealtimes and were kept in shackles unless they were training. The new gladiators were valuable because they were young and strong, so they were fed well with a diet of high protein. The gladiator lived well and had better living conditions than the lower classes of ancient Rome. Gladiators had frequent massages and baths. They had very good hygiene because they lived in close proximity to each other.
For the gladiatorial games, the gladiators held a feast. This was called the Cornea Libera, and sometimes a gladiator's last meal before they died. Gladiators were trained to be strong and intelligent in battle. They would use wooden weapons, and their main training focused on learning different fighting styles. There were many types of gladiators, and each one required different weapons and fighting techniques.
The Noxi were prisoners of war and convicts who would be sentenced to death. One type of Noxi was an andebete. They fought blind and were maneuvered towards each other by attendants. They were considered comic. Tertiarius would fill in for the gladiators who could not fight on the day of the games. They also fought Noxi. Sagittarius fought riding on a horse with bows and arrows. They would be well paid not to hit anyone in the audience. Cataphractarius were heavily armored and fought with a lance. The provocateurs only fought with other provocateurs and didn't have a crest on their helmets. They fought with swords.
The scissors fought with swords that looked like open, shear-like scissors. They were heavily armored.
The Laciri fought by ensnaring their enemies with a lasso and a short spear to stab with.
The Stari would fight against wild animals. They fought with a spear, knife, or whip.
The Rhetari would fight with a net and trident. Many considered them second-rate gladiators for their evasive tactics.
Ordinary was just as their name suggests. Ordinary.
The equites were horsemen and only fought other equites with a sword and a spear.
Of a gladiator was brutal.
Sorry, I didn't start. The provocateurs were the only Bestari fought with Bestari would fight against wild animals. They fought like with this like that.
But then Diego would attack me too.
Oh, well,
that's hot, Davin. Davin.
Because the Stari would go against like.
Ooh la la, the curves.